Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the webinar for the Love Ministry. Today, I'll be talking about voting, the do's and don'ts. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you and present this presentation, everybody. Hope all is well with everybody on Facebook this afternoon. If I can get my presentation to pop up, this will be even much better. Okay. Let's see. Technology. All right, let me go back because it's on that today. All right, let me go back. And let me go ahead and share my screen with everybody. Let's try it again. Okay. If I can get it to do what I want it to do. All right. Here we go. Voting, the Do's and Don'ts webinar by Latricia Johnson. All right. Can I vote? So I'm going to go through these links pretty significant to kind of give you an understanding, to kind of give you an illustration about this. Okay, everybody? Turn this one off. So voter registration. So voter registration, if you move, change your name, or want to update your political party affiliation, you need to update your voter registration. So change your voter registration in terms of if you're moving, change your name, or you want to update the party, you can be made Democrat, Republican, or Independent. And you need to update your voter registration, confirm your registration to vote. And how do you, and they talk about how to get a voter registration card and how do you register to vote. So I'm going to go through these fairly quickly to kind of get you to understand about this. So in this part you see right here, it talks about updating. So you move within your state, change your name, wants to change your party affiliation. If you move permanently to another state, you want to register to vote in another state. Submit your change before your state registration deadline. This could be up to 30 days before the election, okay? And then I was going to talk about how you change your registration. You can change your registration online, by mail, or by phone. Be ready to provide your state driver's license or state ID number and your social security number, okay? Make changes online. When you make changes online, you go to the website for your state. You may be in Florida, California, Georgia, and you go to those elective official sites and you click on those links and make sure you update your information before the primaries and the general election. So that way, when it's time for you to vote, all your information is up to date. I know life happens and things happen, everybody, that we kind of wait to the last minute. But if you can be more diligently to get that done, that'll really save you a lot of problems in the long run. But I know things happen in our life that are out of our control, and we be like, man, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. Also, too, if you're not computer savvy, you can always mail your change by mail by downloading a form, and most of us may not have computer access and may need to actually go in person to get a form, or call them on the phone and they can do it over the phone, or mail it in, because a lot of people are not computer savvy. A lot of people don't have the access to kind of download stuff and mail it off. The next thing is call them on the phone and let them know what's going on. And you also, too, make sure you check with your states and local elective offices, because some states will accept changes over the phone and some will not. So this link here I'm clicking on, everybody, is telling about the different states. So we have 50 states, right? So on this link here, it gives you various places. So I'm going to just kind of do one for example. So I'm going to pick Florida since I'm in the state of Florida. And I'm going to click this link for everybody and just kind of give you an insight of what it looks like. Okay. So this is the Florida division election. I know a lot of you are not out of Florida, so maybe in California, North Carolina, wherever you may be. And when you go to, this is what the site looks like. Every site has a different emblem in terms of their flag and whatever logo their state is, but most of them have the red, white, and blue affiliated, and it basically giving you information. The site I'm on is the Florida Division of Election. On this site is basically giving you general information about us and the candidates and committees, and also too, with this, you're clicking on Florida, but you might be in a different county, and every county has different things and different ways they're handling that. And when I talk about this, is because every county has polling places and precincts. And when I talk about precincts, precincts are places you go that you're assigned to because of your address, and also what's on your voter registration card too. And I'm going to get into that as well. But what I'm showing you right now, and it took me from this, is just basically the things that you should look at: candidate campaigns and committees, and constitution amendments, third-party voting organizations, helpful amendment questions. Here is the one that talks about amendment for standard governing eligibility to vote after a felony conviction. Contact your supervisor election, and it's talking about different news events that's going on with just the election in terms of dates and time. For Florida, today is actually the last day to register to vote. So if you have not made it out to the supervisor of election, wherever you may be at right here in Palm Beach County, it's the last day to go out and register, because the absentee ballots now are the ones that are mailed to you, and you have the early voting, and you have the ones where it happens on that day of voting. So if you have now, because I'm telling you how it's going in Florida, if you have had your absentee ballot mailed out to you, make sure, and I stress this very clearly, that you fill that out, make sure everything is circled correctly, mail it back, or even take it to the supervisor election and drop it off in the drop-off box. Make sure you have signed your name, print and sign, and date it. That way they know who you are when they're tabulating the ballots. Okay? When you go on early voting, make sure you have your ID, make sure you have your voter registration card. They want to verify all the information that is on your registration card with your ID. A lot of times people tend to forget because they haven't really took time out of their busy schedule to change everything, because they have moved multiple times and other things have come up in their lives, and they forget. And that's why it's very, very critical when you're going out to vote for this, the primaries, the general, and just different times when voting takes place, to have your information updated, because a lot of people, like I said, move around a lot, and their information may not add up to the voter registration card, or your ID may not add up to where you currently stay, and that can be a conflict of interest. And they always do that at the polling. When you go right to the polls, they want to make sure that ID match up with that, or you have to bring out Social Security, you have to bring other stuff to verify. So make sure to take time and get those things addressed, and do it. Just get it done, everybody. Just get it done, okay? As I share this information, it's talking about here voting options. Like I said, mail-in ballots, which are absentee ballots. Then we're talking about the early voting, as well as the going in person to vote on the day of voting day. And a lot of people want to know the difference in parties. Okay, who is this person? What does the Democrats do? What do the Republicans? What are independents? Democrats have their way of thinking. Republicans have their way of thinking. Independent, just not affiliated with any of the parties, from what I'm understood, because I was once an independent and then I switched over to a Democrat. Okay. So the do's and don'ts. So this link I have here is at https://www.dos.myflorida.com/elections. Okay. So this is a good, useful research. Research as well as information to take a look at, everybody. I'm going to go back to my presentation, click this off, and go to the other one here. So how to vote. Like I said, the links and everything, you can go through the whole ordeal and see what it looks like. So with absentee ballot and early voting, as you can see here, if they could show me a sample of it, that'll be great. So by the pandemic taking a full effect, Please check with your state or local officials for the latest changes of the 2020 election. So they have here, let's see, coronavirus by mail and absentee ballots. So I'm going to click on this, everybody, and it's going to talk about it very keenly here. Okay, it said some states require an excuse for voting by mail due to the coronavirus. Some states are giving all voters an excuse to vote by mail for certain elections because of coronavirus. Your state may automatically send you an absentee ballot or a form to fill out to request one. So it depends on which states are doing what at this point. So I encourage you, please check with your states to see what's really going on. And when I say see, you getting further details, and I know a lot of people don't like to do a lot of research or a lot of different other things. I'm sorry about that popping up. I had a text and I got too much going on this afternoon, but I'm trying to get this webinar that was supposed to have been done a month ago taken care of today. Okay. So like I was saying, a lot of states may have different rules and regulations. So please check with your supervisor of elections to see did they mail out the absentee ballots, or they send the form, and how they really are doing this for those who want to mail in their ballots. Because a lot of states are handling it differently than most, okay? And like I said, this website here will give you an insight on how different things are being operated. So example, if you have not updated your information, check with the state you are in to see when is the last day for you to register to your registration to vote, and when is the last day for you to get absentee, and all of these good things. It's good to check all your information and make sure it's all correct and all valid, and also to make sure, like for example, this is where I'm talking about the don'ts. When you get phone calls for people that's saying they're this and this and that, please do not, and I stress this very clearly, please don't give your personal information out to somebody who's asking for your social security number or your driver's license or stuff like that. Do not give them that information, because there's a lot of scammers out there that are taking people's information and using it to their advantages. Why? Because like any type of scam, they're trying to find a way to take people who are going through some difficult times and use their vulnerability to their advantage on the other side. So do not give out your personal information to anybody. If it is not from a government official, is it not from the state or wherever you at, please do not give that information out on the phone. Why? Because I don't want you to be caught up into identity theft and being tricked into doing that too. And also too, do not fill out information from other organizations that's not strictly from the supervisor election. Why? Because you don't know where your personal information is going. And I talk about this because a lot of times when you get outside third party agencies coming in, how did they get your information? Because it's in the system. Please, please, please do not fill out those information. If you're not getting from the supervisor election, if you're not getting it from DCF, if you're not getting it from the driver's license plate, please, by all means, do not fill out that information and mail it back to those third parties, because you don't know what they're doing with their information. You have some good nonprofit organization to try to help you along the way, but you have those shot by night type of organizations that'll be trying to take your information and do all kind of damage to you. And I'm not going to stress that very much at this place, because I've said enough to kind of make you aware to be careful with strange things happening. The do's is make sure when you're getting ready to vote that you have an insight about who's on the ballot. See, the thing about when you're going to vote, I don't know who to vote for. This is why you do your research. This is why you get a chance to look at the sample ballot to see how it looks like, because a lot of times people get confused when they're out there at the poll, especially if you've never voted before, and you have the people in the polling area trying to encourage you who to vote for and who to root for and who is the best candidate, vice versa. My suggestion on that matter is make sure you look at the ballot very carefully and kind of say, okay, I kind of did my research on this person, and I kind of did my research on that person, and I kind of did my research on this individual. I don't know too much about this person because a lot of times, a lot of people do minimum research instead of significant. You got those who do the significant research, you have those who do the minor, and those who don't do it at all, and they just go to the polls and just kind of do ABC 1, 2, 3 type of thing. When you're not aware of who you're voting for, you can be voting for somebody you didn't even know you should have voted for. And you get tied into that, oh man, I should have voted for that person, but I didn't know because you didn't know because you wasn't aware, and you're just kind of just playing it by ear. So if it's your first time or whatever the situation may be, take time and do your homework, do your research, and just be very vigilant too. And make sure when you do the ballot, and I'm going to stress this very clearly, when you're doing your ballot at the vote, mail-in, early voting, make sure that you're bubbling in correctly in the right spot. That way it won't be marked in the wrong spot, in terms like if you voted for this person, you want to vote for that person. You want to vote for the right person. You want to make sure you double check your ballot. That way you're voting for the wrong, you're voting for the wrong person when you should have been voting for the right person. So you have to really be very detailed when you're looking at your ballot, okay? And when you're looking at it, make sure you look at it thoroughly and look at each name and select and circle it really clear. I mean, circle it inside the bubble and make sure it covers up the whole spot so there's no white spots showing in that, and keep reading along. And a lot of time you're trying to understand some of the constitutions and some of the amendments, and it's a bit confusing. It's okay. Just take your time. Feel if you didn't do your research or did a little bit, just kind of take your time and just test your heart and see now where it feels right for you to choose from. Okay. And like I said, at the end of the day, when you're voting because you have to have a voice, and your voice is being heard, and people will be very in tune to that, simply because, hey, she went out to vote, hey, he went out to vote, he cast his vote, she cast a vote. They want their voice to be heard like everybody else's on. Okay. All right, everybody. So here we go as I scroll down. But basically this part I'm showing you, everybody, is basically talking about absentee ballots. It's talking about requesting a ballot. It's talking about know your state absentee ballot deadlines. And I talked about that a few minutes ago about what states have deadlines. So I'm going to click here very quickly because the presentation can be very lengthy at times, but I want you to get this information. So here is something about Iowa. This is just an example here, and it's popped up. So this is something I want you to see. So they said voter registration deadline for that is Saturday, October 24th for voter registration. Okay. For absentee ballot request deadline is October 30th, 2020. And the election day is for everybody is November 3rd. Okay. So as you can see for Iowa, this is what's going on. So if you have not registered to vote, you have until the 24th of this month to do so. And if you have not requested your absentee ballot, you have the 30th of this month to do so. And anything on this side talking about postmark, this is an absentee ballot return due date is November 2nd. In-person received November 3rd, and post received by November 9th, 2020. And as you can see, you can go through each state where you are affiliated at and just continue to see what days that there's a deadline for registration to vote. What is the deadline for absentee ballot request? And what's the absentee ballot return date? And what's the in-person absentee voting availability? You go to this site and check what states. And if you those who are overseas or in the military, you can click right here, and that can display that information as well. Okay. All right, everybody. Now they're talking about the inauguration. That's when the president get acknowledged and get sworn in, and basically he's the new president for 4 years. And I'm going to show you this very quickly. A lot of people are like, what is inauguration? Inauguration is occurred for every 4 years on January 20th at the U.S. Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Okay. What is the president over office? The vice president elect is sworn in first and repeat the same office and been doing this since 1884 as the senator, representative, and the federal employees. So what I'm saying is they're both sworn in for term. And when did this take place? And they said the inauguration is planned by the Joint Congressional Committee and and inauguration ceremony. So every 4 years now, we elect another president. They have the inauguration ceremony where they give speeches and things like that, and they swear him in and the vice president in, and then they have a parade and let people meet them and all of that stuff. And that's what the inauguration is, everybody. Okay, moving right along. Voting law history. So I'm gonna go ahead and if I can find that, let me go back. Voting, hold on, let me go back and go to voting law history. I'm gonna go back to where I was because the link doesn't pop up here. So let me see. Because all right, here we go. Voting law history. There we go. Okay. And this here is basically just giving you history about the historical electoral results, voting ID. It talks about voting and electric laws and who can and can't vote in the United States. And also too, with this, and something just came to mind about the electoral college and how they counting tabloids when they do the presidential election. And I didn't think about that until just now. And I'm gonna look it up right now since it's on my mind. It just kind of slipped my mind if I can find it. Because a lot of people want to know how to understand how that works. Let me search this real quick, everybody, because I believe a lot of people would love to know how this works. And I want you to I'm telling you, I'm here to educate everybody about this. This is important information, everybody. It really is. And also, too, the age for you to register to vote varies in different states. Excuse me, everybody. Electoral college. I had to Google it on my phone, everybody. And I forgot to add that to the webinar this afternoon, so I truly apologize. But I want you to make sure you understand what was talked about today. Here we go. So I'm going to read this from my phone. The founding father had to compromise when it came to devising a system to elect the president. Okay. Every 5 times in history, presidential candidates have won the popular vote, but they lost the electoral college. This has led some question why Americans use this system to elect their presidents in the first place. Among the many thorn questions debated by the diligence to 1787 constitutional conventions, one of the hardest to resolve was how to elect the president. The founding fathers debated for months with some anger that should pick the president. Others insist a democratic popular vote. Their compromise is known as the electronic college. What is the electoral college? The system calls for creating every 4 years a temporary group of electors equals to total the number of representatives in the Congress. Technology, it is these electors are not the American people who voted for the president. In modern election, the first candidate to get 270 or 538 total electoral votes wins the White House. And since this is on my plate, everybody, I'm going to actually show you a video on YouTube to get you to understand. And that just kind of dropped in my just dropped on my heart to kind of bring that to a line, because a lot of people need to understand what this really means when it comes to the general election and how these electoral numbers are counted. I want to educate you. I want you to be aware of what's going on here. You vote in the polls, true enough. But how are they counting these elective colleges and how are they really working out? And how are they tabulating it for each party? So what I'm going to show you is a real short video. I'm going to actually take my other screen off. So I'm going to let you see it. I know it's probably not going to have any value at this point, but I want you to see what I'm about to show you in a minute. And then I'm going to get back to my presentation, as I feel like everybody really need to know about this. Hold on, everybody. Let me turn that down and let me turn on my capture, because I'm going to turn my presentation off and let you see this video. Because, yeah. All right, so let me stop my presentation real quick. Let me stop sharing my screen. And I'm going to take you to YouTube so you can see what the elective college looks like, if I can get there, because this is some good info. Oops, here we go. And I want you to see what it looks like. And forget what's being shown on the screen. It's just advertisement from YouTube, everybody. Okay? Just advertisement from YouTube. All right. So take a look. Webinar. Okay, everybody. I wanted you to see this video about how the process really works when it comes to the general election, and how that we who are consumers, we vote, but then it's passed down to somebody else, and then it's put to the candidates, and how they're counting these electoral votes, and how they're doing it for every state. So from this video, it was talking about 29 electoral votes, but that could be, when was this video made? Hold on, everybody. When was this video made? I'm gonna stop sharing. Let me see when this video was made. It was made back in 2011. So it could be more numbers in 2024 electoral college votes, simply because they're counting the electoral college in each state. So example, we as consumers go out and vote, and then it's passed down, and when it's passed down, it's distributed of how many electoral votes that person who want to become president gets from that. So it's confusing, but I wanted you to see this full hand on how they're doing that. And like I said, I encourage every one of you to vote. But when it comes to the electronic college, it is so confusing how the system calculates these votes, and how many electoral the Democrat and the Republican, and how many he or she or whatever it may be get in order to become president of the United States. It's a whole process with this, but I just wanted you to see the video of that, everybody, to give you a better illustration. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again, everybody. It's confusing, but I wanted you to see it. And if you couldn't hear the audio of it, I had closed captions so you can kind of read it, because my audio probably is not very well from on this, because I'm on the microphone. Okay. All right, everybody, let me get to the next one. So on this video, hopefully you can hear it, if not closed caption, because these presentations on Microsoft is not really that good over here. But I want you to just hear it. If you can't hear it, just read the commentary. And you can also look up these videos on YouTube. The video I'm going to show at the bottom is basically just showing you a presentation of something. It's an hour-long video, so I'm not going to play that at the entirety. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one. All right, everybody. That was an amazing speech by the former President Barack Obama. So, here's the next video, everyone. This link that, excuse me, this YouTube channel I just shared with you right here on the right, voting fun facts for students. So if you have those young teenagers or those who are just getting out of school or in college and they want to know about this, will kind of be a two minute and 33-second video to just kind of give them a quick insight about it. And it looks fun to me, but it kind of gets straight to the point. And I believe they have more videos about voting to kind of get the students engaged and to kind of understand what it looks like. Okay, so in this video at the bottom, I want to share with you. It's another video. I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it. I'm not gonna have it on too long because, like I said, it's about an hour and 39 minutes. So it's just basically showing you at the bottom here about what African Americans had to go through in terms of voting, what they had to go through. And it's just showing pictures on this one before they get to the presentation. And I think I want to come back in about a week or so and do a part 2 on this to kind of elaborate on electoral colleges as well as just stream this video to kind of give you an understanding. I'm going to let you know when I come back and do another webinar on this, but I really want to educate everybody. I really do. I want you to know as much as you can as possible. Like I said, if I miss anything, hey, I'm only human. I'm just going to get what I know and what I did research on the best of my knowledge. That's all I can do. I don't know if you can hear the music or not, but they're just showing what this looks like. And this video was done for Black History Month 2020. You see how they wrote the 15th Amendment? Those who are tuning into this Facebook Live, the video at the bottom is playing. They're showing all the people that paved the way for us. And then it goes a little deeper when they talk about the women, history of women's voting. And I believe that's in this presentation as well. She died in 2005. You see this? You see why it's so important to go out there and vote, ladies and gentlemen? Seriously, man. Seriously. It is so important for us to go out there and vote. Y'all just don't understand what we had to go through to get where we are today. Don't turn a deaf ear, everybody. Do not. I'm doing this webinar to educate everybody. I want you to know as much as information as possible. And there's other researches that can be done, but I want to give it to you in my form of what I know and understanding on that factor from what I experienced in my life in terms of voting, doing it the proper way. And I'm still learning about the whole voting system, but I got majority of the information I needed to know. And I just wanted to share that with everybody in this webinar this afternoon. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video off and get to the next presentation. Like I said, the video is like an hour and 39 minutes long, but I'm gonna show this again. I really want everybody to be educated. I really want you to really know about some things. Okay. Wow. All right, everybody. The video is, like I said, an hour and 39 minutes long. I wanted to just kind of give you a snippet at it because it's going past that. I'm kind of cutting it close with time. So I wanted to get that information out to you. But I want to actually stream this again. I might pick one Sunday afternoon and just do this particular video and talk about the 15th Amendment and the 15th Amendment, this video, and talk about, a little bit more about the electoral columns. So I'll let you know, like I said, when I pop on and do those particular things, okay? All right, and the next one is another video talking about voting rights. Watch the video. This one's talking about the history of women's rights to vote. And it goes here, and here's a person from back in the day who's going to talk about some stuff, and then they have another video here. So I'm going to go ahead and click this one right here so you can kind of hear what's being said. Class.
Our teacher's not gone. Our teacher's not gone. Our teacher's not gone.
All right, everybody, I'm going to jump to my next video. I'm going to go to the bottom and then go to the top.
Come on, girl. Girl. Oh, fuck. Gigi. Gigi is the first. Right, now, shh. Right. Where are you going? Right there where you are. And charger, listen. Okay. Learn. China. China. Come on. What? Is it okay if you just was hands? Hey, let's go.
In the last video, and then I think I have one more slide after this. This one is like 26 minutes long, so this is very educational.
Stanton and Anthony political activists began to gain attention and support from suffrage. Then, in 1861, women stopped fighting for equal rights while the nation fought the Civil War. During the Civil War, the question of whether you could legitimately pursue women's rights came to the fore, and people decided no, we can't just go on talking about ourselves as though this wasn't happening. Stan and Anthony start pushing for the abolition of slavery, plain and simple. After the war, the Constitution had been changed so the nation could recover. The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments are the Reconstruction Amendments, and they are amendments which deal with the freedom of African Americans. The 13th Amendment made slavery illegal, but it didn't give 4 million newly freed slaves any rights to make them citizens. So the 14th Amendment intended to fix that by defining American citizenship and giving citizens equal rights. Women in Stanton and Anthony thought the 14th Amendment was their best chance for equality in the vote. They were wrong. In fact, for the first time in the Constitution, the 14th Amendment defined voting as a right that belongs to men. Dismayed at the burden of male leaders in the 14th Amendment, indicated to them that they would not benefit from the protection guarantee. Well, on the wayside, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, an African-American man, should not get the right to vote if women were also not included. And she used very racist rhetoric in pushing that position. That caused a rift between Stanton and Douglas. Years later, here in their fictional letter, split even further when the 15th Amendment made it unconstitutional to deny the voters a race, but about gender. There was a split because some of the people who come out of the abolitionist movement said, it's the Negroes out, let's give the rights to blacks so that we can work on this. Some of the women get very upset about this. So they decided to try to use the 14th Amendment's equal protection clause anyway. In the 1872 presidential election, Anthony, Sojourner Truth, and dozens of other women across the country attempted to vote by arguing that the 14th Amendment applied to all citizens, even women. And amazingly, Anthony actually cast a vote in Rochester, New York. Also amazingly, 2 weeks later, she was arrested for doing it. Court case, and Anthony was convicted of a federal crime for having cast her ballot without having the right to vote because she is a female. And she, at sentencing, made a long speech, and the judge kept trying to show her up. She just kept talking. But he did not give her any jail time, and she refused to pay any money because if he gave her jail time, she couldn't pay money, which is what she wanted. So she began to back. But in Missouri, a woman named Virginia Minor took her own case all the way to the Supreme Court. Some of them thought the equal protection clause would protect them. She looked at this amendment and said, no state shall deny to any person the protection of the laws. So Virginia Minor argued, well, I am a person and I'm a citizen of the USA. So the 14th Amendment guarantees the right to vote. The case was Minor versus Haversack, and all 9 men were in 1875 that citizenship did not guarantee women the right to vote. And they added another insult to the injury. Lincoln said, of course you are a person. You are also a citizen, but so too are children. And you need to protect and show them.
Let me get my things out there.
What?
I'm trying to get my stuff out. What I want.
Black suffragists marched too. To appease the South as a mercy, they marched with the But by 1919, 27 states had granted women to vote. The Anthony Amendment came up again in Congress, and they passed both the House and the Senate. But because this is an amendment to the Constitution, it's still needed to be ratified by the states. Our Constitution is not a part of the states.
I'm not sure you put on there. The other one.
An hour.
Hour?
Hour, 30 minutes.
3 minutes? 3 minutes?
An hour and 30 minutes.
Hour, 3 minutes?
Mm-hmm. Mm. All right, everybody. All right, everybody. As I close this presentation this afternoon, I hope a lot of the information that was talked about in this webinar today kind of helped everybody who was tuning in and those who'll be tuning in to the replay later on this evening and throughout the week. I have two more links I want to share before I close. So this is for those who stay in Palm Beach County. Here is the website for that. So I'm going to go ahead and share that with everybody. All right, everybody. I want to show you something in this part of the presentation. Let me show you something. Here we go. I want to show you a sample ballot and what it looks like. Okay. I want you to see what it looks like. If I can pull it up. They're not gonna let me show it on this. Hold on. I want to show you just what a sample ballot looks like. If you never voted before, it's your first time voting, I wanted to kind of just show you what it looks like. If it pops up for me, just to kind of show you what it looks like. Let's see. In fact, let me do this for everybody. Let me show you what a sample ballot looks like. Ballot 2020 looks like. I want to show you if they let me. If they let me. Okay. This is what a sample ballot looks like, everybody. This is for, I want to say, this is for the general election. Okay, everybody? And they're showing this. The sample ballot is for the Democratic Party primary. This one here. As I zoom in, let me zoom in for you. I want you to just see what it looks like. This is for North Carolina. This was the ballot, sample ballot, a few months ago. So I want you to just see what this looks like and see how they have it all organized. See, they have the presidential. They have this is North Carolina. For those who stay in North Carolina, this is just a sample ballot. So this is how a general election ballot looks like, everybody. Or I want to say primary election. This is the primary. Excuse me, everybody. A primary election ballot looks like. Okay, so this definitely looks. This is what it looks like, everybody. As you can see here, you have that with presidential preference. You have the U.S. Senate. You have the U.S. Representative. Then you have the governors. Then you have the governors, and then you have the audit commissioners, superintendent of public, whatever. Each state has something different on the ballot, whatever they're getting ready to vote for. In terms like for governor and lieutenant, a lot of them have different things on the ballot, but this is just what a sample ballot looks like. I'm going to show you what a general election ballot looks like. I want you to just look at it. So I'm going to go ahead and do a general election ballot for everybody. I'm going to go back to the website in just a minute and let you see what it looks like. Okay. All right. Let's see. This might be general. I'm going to find out in a minute. It might be this the same thing. Let's see. Let's try this one. This one's a general. I'm trying to see, everybody, because when you're on this, oh, that's the primaries. I'm trying to find a general election ballot, so you can kind of get a demonstration of what it looks like. This may be it here. Come on, be nice to Trisha. This is let's see. Yeah, nope, that's not it either. All right, let me just try to show you what a sample, what a general election look like. I'm not gonna give up because I'm gonna find it for you, everybody. I'm gonna find it for you. Sample. I'm gonna find it. It's gonna pop up for me. It's gonna pop up for me. Just finding an old sample. I believe this would be a good example. Let me see. There we go. But this is back in 2014. I'm going to show you, this is what it looked like back in 2014, a general election where they have the U.S. Senate, the Attorney General, the U.S. Congress, the governors, what else? The lieutenants, the commissioners, the county judges, all of these things. This is what a general election ballot looks like. This is a sample ballot of that. And I want to show you the up-to-date version for 2020. They have one that sample ballot of that just to show you an example of what it looks like. If I can get a chance to look at it, just a sample. No, that's 2017. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I just want you to get a feel about what you're about to face if it's your first time going out to vote in the general election. I just want you to see what it looks like. Okay, I believe no. Hold up. Yeah, bear with Remarkable. She's trying to make sure she can give you an insight of what it looks like. General election 2020. I'm here to educate everybody, and I just want you to be informed. I think this one be a good one. I think this is a general. Let me see. Yep. But this, I don't want to show that. I want the sample official. Sample official. Yeah. All right, this is just a sample of what it looks like. See, a lot of them may be designed differently in terms of where your state may be. This is Mississippi, so theirs is different. This is a sample ballot, okay? Everybody's sample ballot. See how they have the president, the senate, and the representative like that. This is how your ballot is going to look. And I'm going to stress this very clearly. Please use a black pen when you're marking into the blanks of your ballot. I'm going to say that again. Mark in that. So let me click this screen out. But I just showed you an example about it. So the show you an example of what primary ballot looks like, as well as a general election ballot looks like. Like I said, they all look different, but they're pretty much going to have the same thing on it. So for those of you who didn't vote in the primaries or did vote in the primaries, you want to know the difference in the ballot. Most of the time, from my knowledge, is what you have cast your vote in the primaries is kind of going to implement what you're putting into the general election. Those are the votes. Those votes tabulate what those results are in the primaries. In the general election, it basically tell you who is going to win the whole overall of the election, from my understanding, okay? So what I'm sharing with you, ladies and gentlemen, who are still tuning into this webinar, I'm on the Palm Beach County elections website, okay? For those of you who are new to voting and haven't really been on this site, this is the supervisor elector. Her name is Wendy Sorunsko Link. She's the supervisor election official over Palm Beach County. And this is what the site looks like. So for today is the deadline to register to vote, everybody. Now, they've been talking about this now. And you go here onto the website and put it in. I'm telling you, get it done, get it done. Do it, do it, do it. Your vote counts. Okay, everybody? Your vote counts. It really counts, okay? So what I'm showing you here is basically very useful information. Like I tell you, every state website is kind of like this, but they have different deadlines and times where they are registering voters and deadlines for you to request your absentee and then postmark and all those different aspects. You can go through the webinar and read through everything and pay attention. And also too, with the us.gov website, when you get on that website, make sure you click on the voter election link. Is on this side right at the top, and you click there and get all the information that you want to get about voting, because it's always good to educate yourself, because I know I probably missed something, but it's okay. But I got enough information out for everybody to understand. Okay, so what I want to show you here to your right is how many people are active Democrats, how many people are Republicans, others is independents, those who choose not to affiliate with Democrats and Republicans. And these are the total number of people who are actively registered in Palm Beach County. It's 1,819 that are registered voters as of today. Okay, as of today, that's the numbers. Okay. So like I said, the deadline to register to vote, the November election, is today, and the general election is November 3rd. So with early voting, as you can see, they have different locations. For those of you on Palm Beach County or those who are different locations, I'm going to stress this very clearly. Please check the website and go to the link that I talked about at the beginning. It's the us.gov, and click on your state, and it tells you everything. And then it even transfer you to your supervisor election location to give you more information and details on what you should do, or even share that with friends and family on what they should do and how to go by the procedures. They have information about those who got other things that's going on that can help you along the way. They also have nonprofit organizations out there that can help those who had some stuff they were dealing with in the past that challenged them to vote. There's information like that as well. And I just wanted to share that with everybody who's tuning into this webinar. So as I continue to wrap this up, what you're seeing right here on your screen right now is talking about the early voting locations will begin accepting ballots on October 19th, which is probably, I want to say, a couple of weeks away. And they're doing it at 7 a.m. So for those of you who have a precinct and you're going to wait until the November 3rd to officially vote, you go to your precinct. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to actually show you an example, hopefully, of what your voter registration card looks like. But these are the locations here They said vote by mail drop off. These are locations that's doing the drop off. They're having the main office, which is in West Palm. They have the Delray. They have the Palm Beach County, as well as out there in the Glades. Okay, these are the locations here, and they have the address and phone number, and of course the website. They're doing the vote by mail drop off, and that's what they're doing. Okay, all right. So let you hear what Miss Wendy has to say. Okay, and I'm going to get in further detail about some things that a lot of you may have questions about.
Normally companies fill me now in the Miss Adrian now. I mean me. And teacher to feel she's asking everyone and she asked the boy and then she didn't answer and nobody answered her name now. I mean me. So something's happening.
She just actually I'm not gonna know what. I was big. I'm like, what the?
So, as we all see, there are some other points that I missed. Like I said, it's always other information that I wasn't aware of. So, if you're doing a mail-in ballot according to the supervisor elections, make sure that your signature matches up to the signature that is on file in their system. Because apparently if your signature doesn't match up to what they have in their system, that way you have to fill out an affidavit to verify who you are. So stress clearly that putting your signature, your date, and it's optional to put your phone number, your email. And when you put those information, they have a right to contact you if there's any issue with your signature. Okay. I wasn't aware of that, and that's something I knew, something new to me. You learn something new every day. So what I wanted to show you was just what a voter registration card looks like. Okay, let me see and just to show you what it looks like. Let's see. I wanted to show you what it looks like. If they're gonna let me see it or show it to me on here, but I want you just to show you what it looks like, and that concludes my webinar. In fact, let me type it in. Voter card. Okay. I just want y'all to see what it looks like, because a lot of people are not aware of what it looks like. And I want you to see what it looks like. Do honest. Yes. Okay. Here we go, everybody. Let me zoom it in for you. Okay. This is what a voter registration card looks like, everybody. They have the register number, the date that you register, the precinct that you go to, your name, your address, your state, city and state, and your zip code, and your party that you're affiliated in when you signed up for the party. And the precinct number is right there in the corner. And they also have the information about where your precinct is. A precinct is a designated place you are assigned to because of your address. But with early voting, you are able to go to any of the locations to do early voting, which starts October the 19th, I believe, and it ends the day before the official general election starts. So you can go to any polling places in Palm Beach County now. I'm talking to those in Palm Beach County. Like I said, for those who are not in Palm Beach County, please, I stress this clearly, check with your officials in your state to see how the procedures are done in Georgia, Carolina, California, New York, whatever it is. Check those proceedings. And I told you in the early webinar that I have a link where you can click on and it takes you there to get that information for you. But this is what a voter registration card looks like. Okay. And I'm going to actually show you one more. Let me show you one in, let's see. Let me show you what a Georgia one looks like. Okay. All right, here we go. That's interesting. All right. This is a sample Georgia voter ID card, and it's basically showing it what it looks like. It may be different, but I'm just giving you an example about what it looks like and what you're supposed to have for it. Like I said, different proceedings on how people do their general day-to-day routine at the election office. So this is what a Georgia voter ID looks like from what I'm looking at, okay? It may be an up-to-date version, or it maybe even look like this now. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I think this is current. So yeah, this one here is another one, I believe. Yeah, Georgia. And like I said, it tells you the time was issued, the date was registered, issued, and the number. And it's telling you the polling places and telling you where to go to vote. Just like Florida, Georgia has theirs too. This is out of Columbus, Georgia. So what I'm showing you here, ladies and gentlemen, is very general information to help you, okay? And I'm going to click on one more thing before I log off of this webinar, okay? I hope the information that I shared with you this afternoon was very helpful. So this is something I want you to see. And this is for early voting now. If you're a Floridian or whatnot, like I said, this is good information for everybody. Best to be aware. Make sure you have a driver's license, or if you don't have a driver's license, some type of ID, some type of debit card, military ID, student ID, retirement center ID, some type of form of identification. And this is for Florida now. Other states may have different requirements for you to identify yourself. And they always say bring 1 or 2 proof of valid ID or current ID that includes your signature and photo. I've stressed this clearly. When you're going out to vote, they want to make sure your signature, you are the person that they say you are, because a lot of times situations happen where people information get compromised. And when I mean compromised, it is used in places that it shouldn't be. So this is why it's very important to make sure that your signature and documentation lines up with that. And you're not aware of stuff happening because people are sneaking things happen that's out of our control. But if you can try your best to be vigilant in that aspect, to make sure that your signature matches up with what's on this identification card and this and that, then it secures you and it gives you a peace of mind. Okay. So as you can see, for those who are doing early voting, it's October 19th now through November 1st. Like I said, it's a couple of days before the public who have to go to their designated precinct to go vote. So you have about 3 weeks to go early voting. So cast your vote, cast your vote, cast your vote, cast your vote. And thank you from Queen. I want to thank all of you who are tuning into this webinar this afternoon. It's enlightening to be on here to share this information, everybody. So I hope everyone is informed and educated and learns so much information to do 4 more webinars to do this week alone. One is at 12. One is at, let me see, one is at 12. I have one that's going to be at 1:30, 1:30 on Thursday. And then I have the other one that's at 12 o'clock too. So everyone enjoy your Monday, and I will talk to you tomorrow at 12 p.m.